Hey guys, how's it going? Tony here. I was going to do this video with Sean. We planned to do it yesterday, but life, honestly guys, it's summer. His job is really crazy in the summer because we live in a tourist area and sales of everything go up, which means they're just a lot busier. So if I wait for him, this may never get done. With life and how crazy things got, I wanted to update you guys on the Safe Families program and how hosting has been going. Okay, when I posted the previous video saying that that's something we were starting, it was actually delayed by about a week. So by the time you saw that, we actually had already been hosting. So there's the first thing. We did end up hosting right away. It was really kind of a wham bam kind of thing. We knew it was a possibility and we had no idea what all was entailed. There's a couple glitches. Okay, so I'm sorry if this is disjointed, so I have to kind of touch on a couple different things here. The state of South Dakota, when it comes to foster care, only allows up to 6 kids in the home at a time. Of course, there's loopholes. If you've got 5 kids, sorry, there's somebody speeding through the parking lot. If you've got 5 kids, there's only 1 space left, but they can count a sibling group as 1, that kind of stuff. Okay, Bethany, or the workers there, thought that they were exempt from that originally, that it wasn't going to apply to us because it doesn't apply to us when we're adopting. But by the time we got there, their tune had changed a little bit. They found out that they are actually bound by state laws when it comes to hosting because it's very similar to fostering. So that meant we had too many kids, but there's a loophole that says a child can be placed in a home that has more than 6 kids for up to 10 days when needed. Now, it's intended for emergency placements, like if a child comes into foster care and they don't have any other homes available just yet, or they're trying to find one, they can place a child temporarily with one family until they can get them in somewhere else. But it doesn't specify that it has to be an emergency placement. So that was the loophole that was going to be used with us. The first placement, or the first child we hosted, the plan was the child that we have hosted, or the first child we hosted, we would have them for 10 days and then they would stay the night with another family. Come back, 10 days, start again, lather, rinse, repeat. For as long as needed until their family situation was taken care of, whatever crisis they were going through. That whole hosting situation actually turned kind of sideways. It was not a typical situation, and it ended abruptly. I am not allowed to say anything else. There's like nothing I can say. I might be able to say gender, I don't know, but I'm not going to. So right away then, we were asked about hosting a sibling group. They were younger than we truly prefer, and it just happened to be like a really busy holiday time for Sean's job and stuff. We're like, there's no way we can take all 3. Like, I would, just because I love kids, I love taking care of kids, but it did not make sense for our family to do it, and not all of our kids were on board. That's something we've had to keep in mind. So we thought that was the end of that. Then they asked if we could temporarily take just one of the kids, because there was another family that was on vacation that was going to be able to take them. And we're like, you know what? It's for a week. Okay, fine. So we did that. That actually just ended, and that went fine. But we are not going to be hosting anymore. We are open if the very first child were to come back into the program, we are open to hosting them again. That child really blended well with our family. It was pleasant. But overall, it's not something that we can continue. I do think it's a really good program. It's got a lot of merit, a lot of value. It really does and can help to keep kids out of the state foster care system, which can be very difficult to get kids back out of sometimes. So when a family is having just an absolute moment of crisis where there's no alternative, this is a good alternative. And since it's voluntary, the parents maintain all custody and rights to their children. There's direct contact between the host family and their actual family. So it's really good. It helps keep everybody connected. And then with Bethany, while there's a host family, there's also a coach. So if you've watched my videos and it's something you're considering or anything else, know this too. There's 2 volunteer positions. There's the host family, which takes care of the child or children. And then there's a coach. And the coach actually works directly with the parent or parents to help them find the resources they need to get through the situation they're in. They also help to coordinate anything need be. So for example, the last little hostling that we had, the coach was giving rides, and we actually coordinated to meet up for visitation. So things like that. So there is a lot of really good merit to the program. We saw for our family some serious downsides to it. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a micromanager. And if I see areas of improvement, it's really hard for me to not vocalize that. And in these kind of situations, anybody who's done state foster care knows too, you're there to care for the kids. Nobody wants to hear your opinions. I will say it seems like that is not much different in the Safe Families program. And I get it, I do. But in our particular case, and I do not think this would be everywhere, so do not let this scare you, please. I'm sure there are some programs that are run very well. And if anybody local is watching this and you're offended, I'm sorry. Feel free to reach out to me. But the truth was, we jumped in so fast. No training was done ahead of time. We were given some basic information. We felt we were slightly lied to as far as the training goes, because there is training involved. I was told we were told it's a couple videos. Go home and watch them. It is not a couple of videos. There are 2 main training sections. The first one was over 3 hours itself worth of videos. That does not include the questions you have to answer after each video to essentially show that you watched it. So there is a lot of training. It is not a sit down and get it done in one night kind of thing. There was a lot of paperwork. That was easy enough to do. That we expected. I didn't find out until I received a newsletter that there's a Facebook group for it. There's actually a couple different things we were never told about. Halfway through our second hosting, I got a call saying, oh, there's some more papers they need. Nothing had been previously mentioned. I felt like it was very disorganized. I also have some personal issues, and this is the micromanaging, so keep that in mind. And I am well aware of that. So, but there's a hard balance, and I can appreciate this. There is a hard balance where the worker is trying to keep the family comfortable and welcome them into the program while gathering the information needed to enter the child into the program. However, we found out that if the parent chooses not to volunteer information, they don't have to. I personally feel that on a set questionnaire, it is basic information on a child. It is necessary to have that filled out completely. My personal opinion is if a family doesn't want to, for some reason, either they're making a choice not to enter the program then and potentially end up with their child in state foster care, or they need to express that verbally to the worker and explain why they can't or won't enter certain information. By allowing people to not give the full information necessary for somebody else to care for that child, it enters a zone where there can be a lot of secrecy, a lot of deception. I don't know. And I don't know if it's that way everywhere, but that's what we ran into. And when I questioned why it wasn't filled out completely, I was pretty much told they chose not to. And kind of a too bad, so sad, don't know what to tell you kind of attitude. But, whatever. We moved on. Our job was to take care of the kids. That's what we did. We do it to the best of our abilities. Because hosting was not our original goal or intention, I came to find out that we don't put the same value into it, because if a child is entering our home to be a part of our family, of course they're part of our family. I'm going to meet and fulfill all of their needs, physical, material, like if they need shoes, we're going to go buy them. It is not my nature to take children for a week at a time and take them shopping for everything they need. That is taking a lot of money and resources away from our children. And there are some other families who do this. They have fewer children. They have more income. It's not a problem for them to do that. The hard part too is that it's a volunteer program. So we're not getting any compensation for any of it, which again is okay sometimes, but I can't be expected to go and provide anything that they didn't have available to send with from Bethany, because Bethany, ours at least, does have a backstock of clothes and things that they keep for kids that come through the program, or just needed in the community in general. But there were things they just straight up didn't have. So like our first one, we had to go straight to the store and buy an assortment of undergarments, socks, a handful of things. And then half the clothes that were sent with us actually ended up not fitting. So we had to get creative with a few things. And actually, I have some amazingly generous and loving friends who, when I simply requested a jacket and sandals in a specific size, to avoid having to go purchase them, if anybody had any laying around, I just figured, before I went and spend the money on it. And while the jacket and the sandals, ironically enough, were what nobody had, I had a couple of people completely shower this child with clothing. Not a lot of it did not get to go with that child, because like I said, everything ended abruptly. But we've got it in case that child does ever come back, or to use for any other children. Now that we're not going to do the Safe Families program, we'll see. But we are also hoping that we are getting really close with being matched for an adoption. So we'll see on that. We are saying a lot of prayers right now, asking for a lot of guidance from God. So there it is. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to hit that notification button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss all the other videos coming up, and we'll see you in the next one.